Huh? Right? Hee-chan, maybe you should join the student council. They could use more people. Yes, definitely. You should definitely join. Why? Well, for one, we could hang out every day, Hee-chan. Shee-chan and I are both in the student council. So can you be a class representative and part of the student council too? Actually, Shee-chan is the president. I'm trying to get the suspicion that Shizune and Misha might not exactly be the most unbiased people to talk about this with. Yeah, probably not. As I'm reading my mind, Shizune quickly adjusts her glasses and signs something to Misha. Huh? Of course, we're not trying to get you to join just because we would obviously benefit from you joining the student council and therefore have an incentive to try to get you to. So you're admitting that. No, we admit nothing. I mean, Hee-chan, of course it would be nice if you joined, and we'd appreciate it. But even without all that, joining the student council shows a healthy interest in the workings of one's school. Yep, it's true, Hee-chan. Besides, don't you want to spend time with us after school, Hee-chan? I can't tell if she's being genuine or if this is just really good acting. Both of them seem to be trying hard to look their cutest, although they are already pretty cute to begin with. Well... So it's settled then. Welcome to the student council, Hee-chan. What? No. See, Shee-chan, of course it wouldn't go so easily. Yep, that's right, though. It would be boring if it went that smoothly. Oh well, Shee-chan owes me candy now. You were betting on it? Hey, my life is not a game here. Shizune seems very interested by this when Misha signs it to her. The aggressive glint returns to her eyes. That's interesting, Hee-chan. Let's play a game. That's not what I said. How about Rich Man, Poor Man, Hee-chan? If you lose, you have to join the student council. What game is that? No, absolutely not. Aw, why not? Well, because you two both have the same incentive and therefore the same goal, which is to get me to join the student council, right? Yep. Yeah, that isn't my goal, but what this means is that both of you can team up and I'll be at a clear disadvantage, so I'll have to decline. Hee-chan, I'm very offended. Are you saying you don't trust us and that we would pull something so disingenuous? That makes me sad. Sorry? It's hard to tell where Shizune's influence ends and Misha's thoughts begin. In order to atone for hurting a young girl's feelings, you should definitely join the student council. No. How about a game of paper football instead of Rich Man, Poor Man? Paper football? Yeah, it's a game they play in America. You make a paper triangle and then you try to shoot it past goalposts that the other player makes with their fingers. I can't remember playing, but I know that game. I might have played in like elementary school. Isn't it cool? It's the ultimate form of competition between two people, Hee-chan. And it's also played by elementary and middle school children, Shee-chan. Well, that means it's a game that really separates the boys from the men. More like the boys from the slightly older boys. Anyway, I'm not going to play that either. Just the fact that you know about it means you are probably surprisingly good at it. Yeah, that's true. How did you know, Hee-chan? Shizune frowns at Misha, telling me that she probably wasn't supposed to admit that so readily. I wouldn't say that I'm happy with their attempts to get me into the student council, but I'm a little curious about what the student council does here. I've never been on one before, or even known anybody who was a member, so it interests me. Also kind of like Shizune and Misha, so maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Okay, Hee-chan, how about Risk, the game of world domination? I don't know what that is. It's really fun, Hee-chan. You fight for control of the world, with armies and everything. Sounds like Shizune would be good at it. If you want to play, we can after school. Ah, really, Shee-chan? We can play just for fun, Hee-chan. Shee-chan hasn't played in a long time, so if you want to, there are no strings attached. Well, okay. Okay. Perfect. We'll see you after school in the student council room then, Hee-chan. Wait, why there? Because that's where we keep the game. Wah. I grimace to tell them how much I do not like this, but it's more for show than anything. So in the end I agree, but only after getting Shizune to acknowledge that I don't mean anything concrete just by accepting to take a look around and play a game with her. Lunch ends, and we go back to class. During afternoon classes, the long-haired girl comes back and sits down in her seat without a word. Again, no one seems to notice, or if they do, no one says anything. I want to ask Misha about it, but I don't want to be nosy. Just talk to her. After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel a little offended, but I'd been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they are on their guard. What's with the escort? That doesn't make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell, or a prisoner being transported to death row, or where they execute them. Well, what's wrong, Hee-chan? That's right, we're just going to play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know, Misha. Seems all a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when we sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's unlikely, but still, for some reason it just seems like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning 2 corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being so on top of me a little silly. That's not true, Hee-chan. Shee-chan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. Life is threatened. Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that, I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It's a very plain, sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the center surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I see with Shizune's. There are a few regular desks and chairs stacked to one side, as well. Extras, perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty bleak room. They could at least put a potted plant in here, or something. But the most noticeable thing that this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No. What do you mean, no? Does it mean nobody else is coming today? Yeah, that's right. Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Is that what that was? I thought someone was getting slapped. Hee-chan, let's play Risk. Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to. Ah, okay. Do you want to know the rules? We can explain to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever played Risk. After Misha spends a little too long for her liking, running through the basics with a somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has been started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended to be when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, while I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from 2 fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. Shee-chan wants you to know that you were taking too long to make a move. Shee-chan also says that she'll let you keep Australia if you agree to join the student council. I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offer means that she knows I care about the outcome of this game. And anyway, no. Shee-chan admires your fighting spirit and will be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. Ha ha ha. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as a compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more magnanimous. Magnanimous? She doesn't seem to know what that word means or how it's signed. She pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temple as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune bursts into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait, please sit down, Shee-chan. Shee-chan says you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of hers shine like childlike mischief. That was a weird facial expression. She says you have no chance if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. It's a trap. It's smarter to play defensively here, or she has a point. Attack aggressively. It's a trap. It's smarter to play defensively here. It's likely that she's just trying to psych me out. Looking at that board again, I have a pretty good defense setup. I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Shizune just grasps the victorious lane, allows herself to tenderly pump a fist in the air in celebration. Well, He-chan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America. I mean, Shi-chan, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5 army bonus, but you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, He-chan, your play needs to be more daring. Ambition, ambition. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained a small advantage. That's no good, He-chan. You didn't take enough risks, and when you did, you didn't follow through. That's terrible, He-chan. Damn, what's it to her if I played too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. Oh no. I wonder if you'd even be any good for the student council. What's this? Reverse psychology? I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. Giving up just like that? I expected more of you. Seriously, is Shizune trying to taunt me into joining the council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my 2nd day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at other clubs yet. And these two, they're a little weird. Fine, I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the clubs before I decide. Really, He-chan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better? Yeah, I'm just not sure that I want to. Aww. Okay, He-chan, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we could really have fun. We could play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me. Unless we graduate before that. That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining, you know. Well, surely you're not that horrible at board games. Maybe we can play a game, you know, then, to give you a handicap. I might have said it just to make you feel better, after all. Oh, that's cold, He-chan. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I spent far longer playing Risk than I expected. Sorry, I think I have to go. I want to go to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shizune scratches her head and gestures at Misha. How hard can it be to determine whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shi-chan. We think the library is open. It's on the 2nd floor. Can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks, it's okay. See you tomorrow. I'm curious what the song is. Risk versus reward. The track is School Days. It sounds great. Bye-bye. One flight of stairs up and I run into problems. Is that a different painting? Or is this a different hallway? The 2nd floor hallway is a carbon copy of the 3rd floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating which class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. As I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push on the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at a moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I'd anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head ever further inside to gain a sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek "hello" on my lips is quickly snatched away. Is it going to be the... oh no, I thought it was going to be the black-haired girl, but it's someone else. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. By black-haired girl, I meant the one with the burnt face. Concord. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Tea? I like you already. Why, hello Hello there. May I help you? Wavy-haired girl. Oh hey, my hair's kind of wavy. Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me she's being separate from the room itself.